You know, I don't know whether it was this movie or the Thanksgiving dinner I just ate, but I feel so freaking sleepy. Hey guys, the Black Critic Guy, back with another video for BCG Disney Week. And as you can clearly tell, I am super ecstatic to review the film Mars Needs. Oh God, what happened? Why am I on the floor? Oh God. Okay, back to the review. Come on, we gotta do this review. Come on. Okay, what was I speaking about? Oh yeah, so I'm reviewing Mars Needs. Now, the story of Mars Needs Moms follows this kid named Milo, whose mom gets kidnapped by Martians so that they can use her body or her brain, her mothering skills, to program these mother bots so that they can raise the next generation of Martians. And that's basically it. He goes to Mars, tries to go save his mom, finds this other guy named Gribble, and they team up, and like crazy shenanigans ensues. Guys, I really... Can you tell that I don't want to talk about this film? I'm pretty sure you can tell, right? Fun fact about this film, in fact, the only fun thing about this film, is that it was co-written and directed by a man named Simon Wells. Now, you may not be familiar with his name, as I wasn't familiar with his name, but you might be familiar with the films that he's worked on, as he's also the same guy who directed one of the greatest animated musicals I've ever seen, The Prince of Egypt. And after learning this fact, I am completely shocked that the same guy who gave us one of the greatest animated films ever made Mars Needs Moms. I mean, it seems like such a huge 180 and backtrack. I mean, how do you go from making something so great, memorable, and epic to something so uneventful? Now, about a week ago, I asked you guys on my Facebook and my Twitter to suggest me some terrible Disney films for me to watch so I could rant about them. I want to do one rant video every BCG Disney Week. I'm going to make that a staple. And many of you suggested that I watch like Chicken Little or Home on the Range. And for those people who suggested that, I would like to refer you to this video right here, which will explain why I'm not going to watch any of those films. Now, the one that I saw frequently besides those two was Mars Needs Moms. Now, I've seen Mars Needs Moms before. I don't remember anything from it. I do remember some bits and pieces here and there, but I remembered it being a very dull and forgettable experience. And that has not changed. Watching it again, it was a struggle to get through, guys. Hell, I'm struggling to get through this review. I really don't want to review this film because it's not worth the energy. It's not even worth ranting about because there are some good qualities to it, but the entire film is just boring! Now, as stated previously, there are some good elements to this film. It's not a complete crap fest. The one thing I truly admired and respect about this film was its artistry, the hard work and effort they put into making this film look as good as they could. Now, this film was made using motion capture technology, and while it does look strange and bizarre and uncanny, especially when they get up close to the characters' faces, I still truly admired the attention to detail in this film. You can't deny that the film at least looks good. It looks good. It's well animated. It's well shot. I have to give the film props for that. In fact, one of my favorite parts of this film is actually when the credits start rolling. Not because, because the film's over, all that stuff, but no, because on the side of it, you actually can see the process they went through to make this film. But just because I admired the hard work does not mean that this film is great by any means. While I can't say that I'm too fond of the character Gribble, I did like his backstory explaining how he got to Mars. It was tragic. It was heartbreaking, it was somber, and it paints a vivid picture to the life that this character has lived for the past few years. Could you imagine the loneliness, the guilt that he must have felt? It made the character more three-dimensional than what he was at the beginning, which is just a bumbling buffoon who's like always cracking wise constantly. But even that made sense once you learn about his backstory. He's been trying to find some companionship. He's been trying to find someone that's like him. He's been living on Mars for 25 years and had no other human interaction. That's lonely, and it kind of made me empathize with Gribble as a character. Sure, again, he's annoying, he's bumbling, but there's so much depth to that character. My personal favorite character, though, is the hippie alien. She doesn't do much, but the small scenes that she's in, she's really enjoyable. Although you could argue that it just came off as forced. For me, I liked it. It's the only sort of personality I actually saw in this film. But without question, the most beautiful thing about this film, and I'm going to show it to you right now, is when Milo and his mom are trying to run to the spaceship to get back to Earth, and Milo's shoes get shot and he jumps in the air and then he lands smack on the ground, breaking his helmet, and now he's exposed to the Mars atmosphere and he's suffocating, and you see him like, he can't breathe, and you see the mom, she's like in the distance like, Milo, no! And she runs towards him, and then the camera pans slowly to show Milo's face like he's gasping for air. You don't really see the mom. I think at this point you start seeing it from her perspective, but she takes her mask off and puts it onto Milo. And I thought that was such a powerful scene. It shows you the true unconditional love that a parent has for their child. They will risk their life to make sure that their kid is safe. And you know, as much as this film is terrible, that scene right there almost redeemed this film, because that is such a powerful scene. It was well shot, it was well handled, the music was good, everything about that one scene was perfect. If only the rest of the film could be as great as that one scene. But unfortunately, it's not. And now it's time for a quick fan art break. To discuss all the issues that I found with Mars Needs Moms. I already mentioned what the film's biggest issue was. It's incredibly boring! And I don't understand why, as its premise is actually pretty intriguing. It's about a boy whose mom gets kidnapped by Martians. They both get sent to Mars, and now he has to find a way to save her before time runs out. If there was one thing, absolutely one thing, that a space adventure slash otherworld adventure film should not be, it shouldn't be a bore fest. It shouldn't be dull and forgettable. You had so many opportunities to make this film great. What happened? I don't see how I could be so bored throughout this film. How was I feeling sleepy? You could probably blame the turkey dinner I ate, but hey, I watched Pulp Fiction before this film. I watched Black Mirrors, a new show on Netflix that my sister introduced me to, and I wasn't feeling sleepy at all. Those stories actually engaged me. They kept my attention. I was having fun watching that. But once I put on Mars Meets Moms, I started feeling sleepy and druggy, like, oh my god, what happened? I think one of the main contributors as to why this film was such a dull fest was the main character, Milo. I'm sorry, kid, but nothing about you ever stood out in this film. You're such a bland, generic, run-of-the-mill average kid. There's nothing unique about him. There's nothing about him that truly stands out, that would make you get invested into him, that would make you feel an attachment for him. They don't even develop the character that much. He's just this kid whose mom gets taken away. It would have been nice to explore a little bit more of his character, but he just comes off as a blank slate. Gribble was more of a character than this kid. Freaking that one alien hippie chick was more of a character than that kid. Wingnut, one of the male Martians, he was more of a character than freaking Milo. Milo could have died at any point in this film, and trust me, there were many opportunities for him to die, and it wouldn't have affected me whatsoever. I know that's such a morbid thing to say, that I don't care about a child dying, but honestly, this kid, he's so boring. There's nothing about him that would ever make me truly care for him. Another contributing factor to the film's suckitude is the setting. It's so blah looking. There's no spectacle to it, no flair whatsoever. Most of this film takes place either in a garbage dump or in this high-class society. So it's either really dirty or just really clean. There's no real middle ground. There's no real unique look to the film. It looks like any standard generic sci-fi film or any film that's like disgusting and dirty. In fact, now that I think about it, the entire look of this film reminds me so much of WALL-E. But it's like the 99-cent version of WALL-E. Because even with WALL-E, as much as it does take place in a very utopian society that's very clean and shiny and bright, there was some color to it. There was some amazement to it. Even when they went into that garbage chute, there was some charm to it. This film lacks any sort of charm. The story in the film was unengaging to the max. I honestly did not care what happened in the film. I didn't care what happened to the characters. I didn't care about what was going on. It just, again, whatever. And I should not describe a film about a kid traveling to Mars to save his mom as whatever. Another element in the film that just truly irked and confused me was the forced romance between Gribble and that hippie alien chick. Why? Why did it need to happen? It comes out of nowhere, 20 or so minutes before the film's conclusion. All of a sudden, she saves Gribble and Milo from wherever they were, and she like looks at him and he turns red for some reason, because I guess he's always had an attraction to Martian ladies. I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. Out of nowhere, Gribble just falls in love with the first alien chick that he sees, even though he's been living there for what, 25 years? He's never bumped into an alien chick at all. And I get it, you know, he came there when he was a kid, so he never really got a chance to interact with girls, so of course it's gonna be awkward, but again, why am I even questioning it? Why, at this point, why am I even questioning this? You know what? I'm done. I am done wasting my time talking about this god-awful atrocity that no one should see. It's not worth the energy. It's not worth the effort. It's not even worth ranting about, and it's sure as heck not worth wasting your time. Overall, guys, while Mars Needs Moms did have the potential to be something great and entertaining, and in fact had some good moments sprinkled throughout the film, it just failed to meet those expectations. It failed to engage its audience. It failed to resonate with us. It fails on almost every single level. And that is why I'm gonna give the film a 2 out of 5 stars. It's an easily forgettable film. The only reason I gave it a 2, honestly, is because of that one scene with the mom sacrificing her life for her kid. That's the only reason it got to a 2. If that scene didn't exist, this would have been a 1 easily. Easily. And I cannot believe that they would waste such a great technology like motion capture for such a lackluster story. Come on, guys, if you're gonna use such great technology like that, use it for something that's worth it. But as always, guys, I'm not the end-all be-all opinion when it comes to Mars Needs Moms. I'm sure there is a small pocket of you out there that actually enjoy this film and consider it to be great. So I would love to know what you guys thought. Did you absolutely adore it? Is it your favorite film of all time? Or did you agree with all my points and found it dull and forgettable and not even worth mentioning? And let me know, what is the worst space adventure film you have ever seen? Comment below, let me know. And you might be getting maybe 1 or 2 BCG Disney Week videos coming your way, depending on if I can get both of them done. You'll definitely have 1 more coming, that's for sure. It's gonna come. And once it's over, we're gonna get back to Studio Ghibli month, finish out all those videos, and then return to the regularly scheduled programming. I know you all have been waiting for that. So until then, guys, if you'd like to see more videos on this channel, be a part of the Black Critic crew, please hit that subscribe button below. Like this video if you really enjoyed it. And I'm Tony Wall II, still freaking sleepy as the Black Critic Guy. Till then, peace, YouTube.